You know what it is. Welcome back to another episode of the Casual Experts Podcast. My co-host Mike there, he couldn't be here. The dog ate his homework, but filling in for him is one of my long time friends, and you guys might know him in the boxing world. This is my man Ignacio Navarro, and he brought along his daughter today, Chantel. Chantel Navarro, sick. Me and him have been trying to book this interview. Like we said off camera just now for a long time, but you were cutting weight. I always hit you up when I always remember to hit him up to book you when you're cutting weight. And I see what you do in the ring, and I don't want to get socked by you while you're cutting weight, all pissed off. So where to begin? Shout out to all my sponsors. You know who you are. Links are in the description. Make sure you guys check out Royalty Honey, Effortless Motors Cookies, all those wonderful people. Today, though, how many people know about your life?
Uh, just a few.
We're gonna keep it brief. I know you. I know you want to keep it that
Different
way.
trades, different lives in one life. So
I know this wonderful gentleman. As you guys know, I come from the music industry or whatever. Shout out to all you guys that are here watching from that side of things. Man right here was one of my first photo shoots I ever did. He is a South Central rap legend, whether you know it or not. Can I say who you are? The legendary Sonny Blue from Smooth Hustle. He trailblazed for a lot of things that you see popular today in Latino rap and hip hop. So I just want to give you your flowers on that.
appreciate it.
I remember back in the day, some of the people that were around you were like, yes, and he used to box, and he used to box. And it's called the casual experts for a reason. For I was an ultra casual back then, even more so, you know what I mean? So I didn't know, but talk to me about because I really want to talk to you about rap, but we won't. Talk to me about your boxing, your extensive boxing resume.
First, I never even really told anybody about the boxing. It was just brief. It never came
I would
from
see
me.
the gloves in the rear view mirror, little telltale
or,
signs.
or in the booth. Remember at the
Yeah,
studio when I
yeah.
had my studio, I would have some of my brother's belts, not necessarily my belts. They were my brother's
No, they were
belts.
present though. I remember.
The gloves, they'd be hanging in the booth, but I never told anybody that because I felt like that didn't need to be mentioned. My boys knew because I would tell them, so they would speak on it more than I did.
Other people would know because he slept. Anyways.
Yeah, that was never my intention, though. We never went out like that.
No, never.
But
It took a lot to get. Anyways, yeah.
yeah. So, but I mean, boxing was just from basically from the cradle to now. My dad had us boxing since I was 6 years old. My little brother Jose Navarro, who was a 2000 U.S. Olympian, also
Fire.
a world champion as a professional. He was 4 years old. And my brother Carlos Navarro, Tito El Zurdo de Oro, he was one of the most recognized amateurs in the 90s. He fought Floyd Mayweather a few times, beat Floyd Mayweather once. I mean, we were doing this since 1983.
Fire.
Since 1983. I started competing when I was 6. Started training when I was 6, started competing when I was 10. And then I turned pro and signed to Tom Loeffler when I was 18 years of age.
Shout out to Tom Loeffler and 360.
360 Promotions, yeah. So, had a short professional career. I was 8-0 with 4 knockouts as a professional. And then
Why'd you stop?
So I injured my hand in my last fight. So I ended up, taking some time off. But by the time the hand healed properly, I had lost my father already.
R.I.P.
Yeah, lost my dad. And, something like writing music and things like that was always something that I really liked.
It was a personal passion.
Something like, yes, correct. So, I started to pursue that, when I
You did well.
Yeah, I did all right.
I think so.
I think I did okay. I think I did all right. I still collect some residual
Hundreds of
checks.
thousands of views easily.
Yeah. So I still collect some royalty checks here and there. They fall gracefully from the sky every quarter. So that's pretty cool. But the boxing just happened to pull me back in when my baby or Chantel, I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
decided to wanna start boxing, and I try to push her away. I think You asked me when you were 11, huh? She was playing soccer. And I was like, no, you're not going to do this. You can barely
You could barely hang with soccer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying with the training. And I was like, boxing is 6 days a week and it's 2 workouts a day, you know? And then, bro, I would never pick this for my kids, ever. Somebody that's done this, I would never pick this for my kids. This is crazy.
It's grueling.
Bro, sacrifices, the discipline, the cutting weight, the everything that goes into this is just, it's a lot. It's the lifestyle. It's not 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You got to be all in or back out. Because you will get hurt, brother. It's
Absolutely.
designed to hurt. That's why it's called the hurt business
yeah.
for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to, just between you and I, maybe this is the first time I say it in front of her. When she first started training, I would try to break her for her to be like, you know what, I don't want to do this. But that
it made her stronger.
That was
fire,
so. But I mean, here we are again. Now this is life every day. From the moment I get up to the moment I go to bed, it's boxing, boxing, and boxing. So
I respect it. So obviously, you're her trainer.
I am her trainer.
And then aside from her, because obviously this interview's for you, you also have another boxing thing that you do throughout the day as your regular.
Oh yeah, it's my job. Yeah. I got clients that I train in the morning, early in the morning. My private clients, the ones that pay, the ones that break bread, but they don't even want to compete. They just want to stay fit, and they love the sport and they like to learn the right way. So
that's nice.
And then I focus on training Chantel from 9 to 11 a.m. And then I go and clock in with my regular job, which is running a boxing gym for the County of Los Angeles for Parks and Recreation.
Shout out to that.
And I have a bunch of kids that compete amateur and that are doing well. And,
Can I safely say that you're living the dream?
I mean, yeah, you can. I mean, I know boxing. It's not like I'm doing something I don't know. Like,
obviously, there's good days and bad days, like anything. But I mean, ultimately, you're doing something you love.
Of course,
that's fire.
Of course, and to just give back to the community, even if it's not the community where I grew up. I grew up in South Central, and I still feel good about myself because. I help keep these kids off the street.
Absolutely.
I get some of these kids that come in that are, too tough and, I don't want to be here because my parents are bringing me here.
Then they find out that they're going to learn how to have hands.
Exactly. And then they kind of gravitate towards me and kind of look at me, start talking to me. I start talking to them. I mean, there's certain ways to talk to people, so when I talk to these kids, they tend to gravitate towards me. And it went from, oh, I don't want to be here to showing up super early or sometimes waiting for me outside when I'm coming back from lunch. And they're like, hey, coach, can we help you give the younger kids water till our class starts? And that's 2 hours that they help me out, help me with the mitts with the kids sometimes and help the little ones get water when their class starts. And then I keep them there till like 8:30. And all they have is enough energy to get home and go to sleep, and they're off the streets.
Perfect.
So that's what I feel like I'm giving back. And I feel good about myself. And be honest with you, brother, it might sound corny, but that's the biggest reward for me.
No, absolutely. I completely understand. Yeah. Trust me, I do. That's why I try to do all these. I feel like some people would be like, hey, you're doing some corny stuff over there trying to help these kids, like with the little free game that I'm doing with the rap stuff. Like, dog, like, had someone told us some of these tips and tricks, we would have excelled even further.
There we go.
And it's a completely different game. But nevertheless, that's what it is, helping the kids.
Yeah, and I feel like this is what I was really destined for, to be honest with you. I mean, this is what I did in the beginning.
It's true.
And even though I do miss the music sometimes, I just remember like how hard it is as well,
It takes everything.
It does.
It's like being a fighter.
And I was taken away from my kids.
Fact.
Doing it, sometimes.
Me and you had some late nights.
Yeah. 3 a.m, 4 a.m, I go home. I see them when they're sleeping. I kiss them on their forehead, but they're asleep. And then by the time I get up, they're already
at school.
At school, or they're in daycare or whatnot. And I would go weeks like that. So yeah, I'm just glad that the sports, when they started playing sports, it just pulled me back and kind of slapped me out of it and be like, look, this isn't going as planned. Focus on your girls, focus on your babies, and
You had a great run.
I had a great run. It was fun.
When you looked at your dad when you were deciding that you wanted to become a boxer, how did that come into your mind, Chantel, that you wanted to fight?
Well, because my dad would just tell me stories about when he was younger and how him and his brothers went to the gym and stuff. And it kind of like intrigued me because like I've never seen that before. I've never been around that. And I've been around soccer my entire life up until that point. And just, I don't know, like I feel like I'm the most aggressive one out of my sister.
That's right.
The girliest one too, bro.
No, I feel it.
The girliest one too.
Yeah, and then I just was like intrigued with the stories that he would tell me and stuff. And then I remember he would like work mitts with me a little bit, and then it just like was so like fun to me. Like it was something that I enjoyed, and at that point I just wasn't really enjoying soccer anymore, and it just like it wasn't an interest to me anymore. And then I just found boxing and it clicked for me. And then I remember when he first took me to the boxing gym and I was like, yeah, this is something I want to do. Like I was just in awe of everyone and everything. And it was, yeah, I just fell in love with it as soon as I like walked into the boxing gym.
She was a good soccer player.
And that's what I was going to say. For those of you that don't know, like I said, we go far back. I told him when we were walking up, was she the baby that I took the soccer photos of? Because I went, whatever. Me and him had a cool relationship, so he would hire me to do photos for all kinds of things. But I guess it wasn't. It was for your older sister, Pearl.
Yes.
We're going to say it was you, though. When she blows up, the undisputed champion of all classes, I'll be like, I took her soccer photos back in the day. Well, at least we know you got stamina from running across the damn soccer field.
Yeah, and that's what I hated the most about it too.
Now you're going through an entirely different grueling process.
Yeah.
How much more difficult do you think, in the beginning at least, now for sure it's significantly different, but how hard would you say when you first started training for real with your dad that training was for soccer compared to boxing? Like how much different and difficult?
I think in the beginning it was way harder. Like way harder because I had to like adjust to like everything.
Mm-hmm.
I had to do strength and conditioning. I wasn't really doing strength and conditioning when I was doing soccer. So I had to do the strength and conditioning, all of the running, and like he said, he tried to break me. So now looking back at him, kind of like, yeah, he was trying to. But
that's fire.
But yeah, now I feel like it just comes natural to me, like I said, and I've been doing this for years, so like my body adjusts to it, and I've adjusted to it. So yeah, and
it's your life.
Yeah.
When did you first start doing your amateur fights?
I was like 12 still.
Yeah, you were 12.
I was still 12. I was like a couple months into training.
Do you remember the first time you got punched?
Yes, I actually sparred. Like my first sparring ever was with my cousin Steven. Yeah.
The legend, the future legend.
Yeah, he's a beast. He's a beast.
Are they the same age?
Yes, they are.
Oh, okay, that works.
She's a couple months older.
This was at home.
This was at his gym when he used to box at a gym.
Yeah.
In LA, but yeah, and then I remember and he's like was going easy on me too. So, and I just remember like I was like bummed out with myself. But my dad told me that I did good, but I felt like I could have done better.
You had the headgear on, or you took it without it?
No, with the headgear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you still hold that against your cousin to this day, or what?
No.
Have you gotten them back?
We've sparred here and there, like for him to help me.
Obviously, that's uncommon, whatever, but they're cousins, so it's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I don't really hold it against him. He's helped me a lot.
That's fire.
Like, he's given me a lot of advice, and being in the ring with him is just I pick up on certain things that he does. So I think it helped me a lot.
Shout out to Steve. You did great in your last fight. That's fire. What is the best experience that you remember throughout your amateur career? How long were you an amateur for?
I was 12, and then I turned pro when I was 20.
Oh, okay. So you had an extensive career.
Yeah.
8 years.
Yeah. 8 years.
How many times national champion are you?
7 times. Yeah.
Every time I talk to someone and they tell me that's pretty intense. Where do you win this national championship at? The PALs?
No, we travel. We've traveled all over the country. Sometimes it's just the most random places, bro, like Charleston, West Virginia.
That's championship.
Madison, Wisconsin. But everybody from the best of the United States.
No,
meet
everyone's there.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. What was the most difficult national championship that you've gotten? Like the most difficult journey to it?
I would say like it's tied between a tournament that I did in Reno in Nevada and my Olympic trials. So I think my Olympic trials, like my training camp was perfect, and I felt like very confident in my performances and everything. So yeah.
That's tight. Have you fought, and in the amateurs, have you seen any pros that are doing well now?
Well, obviously my cousin, O'Shea Jones.
I mean, people that you fought.
Oh, that I fought. Everybody that I've fought is still amateur, trying to go for the Olympics.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's a big career choice, right? Like opt out for the Olympics or go pro that a lot of budding stars have to deal with, I think.
Yes. So in the amateurs, 4 years prior, they already have in mind who they would like to go and represent for the United States. Not saying it in a bad way.
No, of course.
So if anybody from USA Boxing, I'm just, and it makes sense to me. So if I have an amateur that has been doing 8 to 10 international tournaments and they're familiar with the girls that they're eventually going to meet up with,
it makes sense
in at the Olympics or the World Championships, even though I have a fighter that might beat that girl that's heavily favored or heavily invested in, well, I'm still going to run with the one that
has the experience.
Correct. And it makes sense to me. Maybe a little unfair. So,
strategy-wise, it makes sense.
But they already have picked out who they want to go. So us opting out to try to even make the 2028 Olympics was two different things, two different factors. One was we weren't sure if there was going to be boxing in the 2028
That was
Olympics,
a big thing.
right?
Yep.
So we couldn't hold our breath for that. And the other one was like, she's already 20. We're not going to wait another 4 years and possibly not make the Olympics. So that's 4 years gone.
Facts.
So we might as well turn pro now. And God willing, by the time 2028 comes, you're already a world champion a couple times,
Facts. Because you can't be pro and be in the Olympics.
Not for the United States.
That is so strange.
Other countries do allow it. The United States doesn't, and I agree with not allowing pros to fight in the Olympics for boxing.
I'm gonna change his mind. You're gonna fight for Mexico in the Olympics. How was the Olympic trials for you?
It was good. I personally think my second fight was against a girl from Texas, Jocelyn Perez. I personally think I took that fight, like I won that fight. But like how he said, she was heavily favored. She represented for the Pan Am Games.
Oh dang.
So
yeah, the champ has to lose by a KO.
Yeah, but nothing but love and respect for the
absolutely.
girl. It's not her.
I also understand
she's very talented.
I've heard a lot about how things like that take place and how it's super point based and like I don't know, it's just a lot, but I completely understand.
Yeah.
The first time I came across, obviously I know of your dad very well and things like that, but the first time I saw you was the Nike commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about how that all happened for you and how that came about. I'm sure you talked about it a lot, but not to me.
Well, I had a article on ESPN.
Fire.
So they saw that and they reached out to my dad. And then my dad broke the news to me. Oh, Nike wants to do a campaign for you. I was over the moon happy. I was so happy. 14-year-old me, and I'm doing a campaign for Nike. And I just remember them shooting it and everything. I was just like this is a career for me. I could go and do anything with this. I have Nike behind me, and then they called me back to do more campaigns for them, to speak on panels for them, and then they approached us with, we want to sign you guys, and they gave us our contract and everything. And yeah, I just was like bragging to my friends at school and everything. And yeah.
I get all the nice kicks too. I got every J you can imagine.
I don't want to talk about that right now. I'm hating right now. So, how many times had you already won the national championship by the time they hit you up? Because you were 14 when you got it. You started at 12. So, in those first 2 years, what kind of damage had you already done?
I was 2 times.
Fire.
Yeah.
That's fast.
And you know what? She won national titles when it counts. Because, I mean, again, no misinterpretation, not putting anybody down. But when you hear a fighter, 20 times national champion. Let me tell you when those national titles were won.
COVID?
When they were 9 and 10 years old.
No, yeah,
when it doesn't really matter. To me, and it was something I always told her, look, I'm not worried about winning national titles at this age. I'm worried about winning national titles when it's time to represent the United States of America at the junior level, 15, 16, youth level, 17, 18, elite level, 19 to 42.
Yeah.
And she won national titles, the junior, youth, and elite level. When it counts, when it matters, right?
No,
Yes.
real skills.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying that the other ones that, but I'm not going to
You
say
know what I mean.
Yeah,
I'll say it for you. I got you.
She has skills. There's still a lot of ground to cover.
Yes,
There's
absolutely.
still a lot of room to
No,
grow.
of course.
But
But 8 to 11.
1 minute rounds.
My son is 6 and I have him training.
are good.
I understand how, as long as a little kid's being active and being more active, maybe are they counting punches landed or are they counting
look,
punches thrown or how's that going?
At
You know?
9 and 10, the rounds are a minute. What the coaches teach is, hey, just go run to the center of the ring and just throw straight punches as much as you can. And
That ain't it.
There's no technique really behind it.
That's what I'm saying.
Now,
At the junior level,
yeah, there's already like,
yeah,
you
we're
got the
looking
little
for angles.
You got the little girls from Philly. You got the girls from Ohio, from New York, that are athletes, that are in and out,
Yeah, they're fainting. They're
using
doing it
the ring.
all. They're
They're doing
parrying. They're doing everything.
And even the boys, bro, it's just a whole
different thing.
jump off. Once you're at nationals, it's a whole different jump
No,
off.
yeah. It's like boxing at the park versus boxing around the country.
Exactly.
I feel it. So damn. You're already 2-time national champion. What was it like on set when you got there?
It was nice. Well, they were my first campaign ever. They were like following us around like for the day.
That's dope.
And they would like come and film me train, and then they would go with us to go run. Like they were like with us all the time.
A day in the life.
Yeah,
Literally.
Go eat,
yeah,
everything.
yeah,
That's badass, huh?
yeah.
For like a week, huh?
Yeah.
They followed us for like a
And
week.
then they like went to my competitions and then my weigh-ins and everything. But I remember like my first time like actually on set for something, getting my makeup done and my hair done. I was just like I could get used to this. Yeah.
That's fire. When you guys stepped into the Nike office to actually get signed, what was going through your head? Because you're a kid.
Yeah.
He knows the tremendousness, whatever. He knows the how big it is. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I was just thinking like how cool it was. Like I have Nike behind me. I'm a Nike athlete, and just being able to like brag about it. I was young. I was 17 years old, but now that I look back at it, I'm like that was a really big and like opportunity. It was a blessing for me to have that opportunity at 17 years old.
That's so crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Do you have all the shoes?
I have more of like the clothes. Him and my sister have more of the shoes.
Yeah, we capitalize.
Am I able to ask questions about her, what she's allowed to get from Nike? Like, what, can you just be like, yo, whoever your rep is, like,
It's a website.
Yeah.
So there's a
oh, so
website.
you just log in, type in your
Yeah.
code.
Well, it's a website for the athletes that are signed to Nike.
That's what I mean.
So they got first dibs on the first releases and things.
Is she restricted to X amount of pairs a month or something?
2. Well, no, 2. No, she can order whenever she wants, as long as she gets an X amount of money every 3 months, and so she's able to use that.
I see. She got an allowance per se.
Correct. So she's able to just whenever she wants.
Yeah, she has an allowance of for products.
Correct.
Is it the products at wholesale?
On top of her
Whatever. Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I don't even want to talk about that.
Yeah. No, we're not.
No, yeah. That's fire.
Yeah, it's a.
I'm with a Nike athlete right now, G. It's just fire.
Yeah.
How do you become a Nike coach?
Damn, bro. I've been the man. What?
No,
I think I knew it first. Yeah. Because they do got Nike coaches.
Someday,
one day, hopefully.
I
She has her own boxing shoe.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
For her. So every shoe she competes in is hers. It's not her own signature shoe yet, but we're working a deal for that. That's a whole separate deal. So she has her. You want to tell them what they did for you?
Yeah, so I did like a campaign for them. I did a panel, and then they flew me out to Oregon, like their headquarters, and they measured my foot. They made me walk on sensors to see where my pressure points were. I told them that I had ankle injuries, and they catered to like specifically for my ankles. And then they sent out a shoe. And then I told them, it's tight around my feet, or like this is perfect, and then they like just give me colorways, and I asked them for colorways, and they ship them out and everything.
So fire, huh?
Yeah.
What's the likelihood of you getting your shoe? Like mass produced?
Very positive.
I get so many compliments on my shoes.
I think as soon as you get that world title, it's over. As soon as you get the what is it? The Intercontinental? Is that what they call it?
The
Continental. As soon as you get a Continental flex on, I'll be like, yo, I got a green belt.
Yeah, there's little belts that you need to collect before you go ahead and get the bigger one.
No, of course. It's just on the journey.
Correct.
I play boxing games. I know how it goes.
The
Undefeated?
Yeah, that's just fire.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Fight night. They have to make a new fight night.
My fighter's like 100-0.
You're playing the computer, fool.
Man, I have no time.
No, it's impossible. You have no time. What do you do in your spare time? Because I know that actually, let's not go there yet. When do you make the decision to go pro, and what's it like going through your mind? Obviously, you're consulting with your dad as your dad and as your trainer. So, like, how does that all play out?
Well, after my Olympic trials, I kind of knew like the Olympics was out of the
equation,
out of like my head for me, because like I saw how it went and I got robbed, and I was just like, I'm not gonna waste my time with this. So after that, it was near like Christmas time. I took some time off because I haven't really had any time off when I was doing amateurs. So I had like 3-4 months off, and then I got back into it, and we tried to do like another tournament, but I wasn't really feeling the tournament. So the conversation of me going pro came up, and I was like, why not? Like, why not try it? And then my first debut came around, my training camp. I just love to get back into training camp and to have like that fight mode turn on and everything. So I, after my weigh-ins and everything, being able to recover, that just like changed the entire game for me. 'Cause like when I'm an amateur, I have to maintain my weight. Like after I weigh in, I go eat a good meal, and then I fight, and then I have to go check my weight to cut my weight again
for the next fight,
the next day. For the next day, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I've never taken that into consideration.
You weigh in, you're like, how much are you over? Well, we're 4 pounds over. Okay, let's go train immediately after the fight.
Yeah.
For the next day.
For the next day.
I've never ever even thought about that, and I've interviewed a lot of people, and they've never talked about that.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. How do you deal with that?
You just have to be mentally strong. Like you have, like it's such a grueling process. You just have to be like mentally, like you have like nothing is on your mind but winning. So yeah, and then after my pro debut, and I weighed in, and I like was recovering for the entire day. I was like, this is the life. Like I could get used to that. So it basically made me fall in love with the sport all over again. And then being able to walk out and see everybody supporting me in my pro debut, my family cheering for me, Because when I was over there when I was doing the amateur nationals, I didn't have my family with me.
Yeah, you're far. It's a
Yeah.
mission.
Yeah.
The seating isn't necessarily the best.
And I loved when I was amateur, I loved fighting locally because everybody would come in and see me and support me. And being a pro, that was like extra motivation for me to come out on top, to get a knockout or a victory or whatever. So yeah.
What was your diet like through the amateurs? Now that I'm aware of that.
It was the same like how it is as a pro.
Well, you're already accustomed to it. It's your lifestyle.
Yeah.
But what does your diet consist of? Like, do you eat
No
pizza? Do you eat?
no sugar.
There's no
no
face you made right now. It's like
sauce.
you're disgusted by the thought of pizza. You turned your mind into hating it. That's crazy.
Yeah, but
There's no diet pizza? Like protein
They
pizza or
got
some shit?
cauliflower crust or something. I like
Okay.
it. I eat it.
That's okay.
I like it.
Costco cauliflower crust is fine.
I like it.
yeah, but I feel like if you're gonna eat pizza, like
Might as well
go all out and eat pizza.
I have a lot of unique people that watch my nonsense up here, and some of them are chefs. One day, I'm going to have a chef make you a low carb, high protein pizza, and we'll do a vlog
Yeah.
or something like that in between fights. So that way, in case the cheese is too cheesy, you'll recover.
Yeah.
So what's your walking around weight?
Well, right now I'm a little over what I walk around, but
What's a little over?
like I would say like 3-4 pounds over.
That's nothing.
But yeah, but like when you're like constantly watching your weight, like you take every ounce and pound into consideration.
That last pound, bro. That last pound.
Who did I talk to? Was it Bam or Virgil? One of these fools was like 10 pounds over. And they were like, yeah, I'll never do that again.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
Mm.
So what is your diet? Like chicken breast?
Chicken breast,
Fish?
a lot of fish, a lot of eggs, a lot of
Sushi.
yeah, like
But what about the rice?
I know, I'm joking. 'Cause she eats sometimes, like, and doesn't say anything. And it's like, I'm like, what happened? How did you go up 3 pounds?
The f***ing white rice.
I don't know. You know.
So do you drink soda alternatives like, I don't know, LaCroix or however you say that stuff, or bubbly or popply or whatever?
They drink. Go ahead.
I don't
Sorry.
really like to drink soda. It's like very like sugary. I don't really like it, but I like to drink seltzers, like sparkling water.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Despite what my appearance is, I don't really drink soda either. So I feel you. But what kind of fish is your favorite fish?
I don't really like fish like that, but I like shrimp, octopus.
Oh, you like mariscos. Say that.
Yeah.
Mariscos. Yeah.
Is that a cheat meal or is mariscos cool?
Mariscos, it depends, bro, because,
Like the salt and
yeah.
everything.
The sodium and then the water retention.
Yeah.
And blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but it's allowed. It's better than having fried chicken or
I've never heard of.
barbecue, It's better than that. ¿Sí me entiendes? It doesn't taste better.
How many birthday cakes have you not ate?
Oh, man.
For your own self? Like it's your birthday, we're celebrating your birthday, and you're just gonna watch me and your dad eat that cake right now.
Well, my birthday is in January, so it's like right after like Christmas and like the holidays and stuff. So I've been able to celebrate my birthday.
So that's like the feast time anyways, kind of.
Yeah, because there's like not really any shows or like tournaments after that.
You know what? You might be right. I don't think I've ever watched a boxing match like on Christmas Day or something like that. Is there fights?
No, the latest I think it's been is like right before Thanksgiving or right after Thanksgiving. Not that I could think of in December. December,
Imagine
everybody wants to
having to fight during Thanksgiving week.
Well, the tournaments were usually the last tournament of the year is like early December, so there was a lot of Thanksgivings where she couldn't eat.
Yeah.
That's maybe some turkey.
Yeah, turkey and like the vegetables.
That ain't it.
That is
not it.
Nah, not without some yams and with marshmallow or
With the whole thing.
or some mashed potatoes because her grandma gets down with the mashed potatoes.
That's right. So now you're a pro. Who's your first pro fight with?
It was a girl she was from the States, but she's from like PR, I think.
Yeah, from Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Oh,
I actually mean what promotional company?
Oh, with Tom.
Oh,
360 Promotions.
oh, that was the fight that I missed. That was her pro debut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's fought twice for Tom, right?
So
Twice?
disappointing.
Twice.
That's crazy. Because I get corral seats, so I would have saw the sweat dripping off of your face as you're punching these girls. You know what I'm saying? It was be so fire. I don't know how. Anyways, obviously you're undefeated, so you're victorious. But the Commerce is a dope venue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not some little Mickey Mouse spot. Like, that is so dope.
Yeah, the way they set it up.
No, that's
Really
fire.
nice, yeah.
What did you feel like? Were you scared walking down the stairs? Because they were still doing the stairs entrance, right?
Mm-hmm. No, but I was like cautious of like pay attention where you're walking.
I'm just asking because I always wonder, like, why do they make them walk down the stairs at the Commerce? That's kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? Imagine you eat shit walking down the stairs.
Yes.
Would they
Viral.
stop the fight? Like,
Imagine. That'd be.
that would be so nasty. So, anyways, they probably do the sparklers for you and the whole little thing, right?
Mhm.
That was so amazing. So, like, how did you feel?
It was like a good feeling. Like I just saw like my family and everything, and I was just like soaking up the moment. I was so happy.
That's sick. Did you feel like you breezed through that fight, or was it difficult?
I felt like I was like really prepared for that fight, but not as prepared as I was for this fight. Like my mind was just like completely focused in on this fight. Like I was like mentally prepared. I was like focused. Like
You were ready to knock down the task at hand,
yeah.
and you did. So there's that. So now, where does your career go from there?
We're just gonna keep going after girls in my division, like some that are ranked higher than I am, and girls that are undefeated to make my record look good, and just basically like showcasing my talent in the ring.
Who's been the most difficult person you fought so far in the pros?
I think the last girl that I fought, her name is Wendy. She was just like she was very tough, and I was just in there being basically a critical thinker because I don't want to get hit with something. And because like pro boxing is like a whole completely different game.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, than the amateurs. I remember my pro debut. Like completely forgot that I didn't have my headgear on. I completely forgot. I was just going in there, and I was like, wait, I need to relax. Like, what if I get caught with something? Like after the first round, and I was like, I need to like calm down.
Smaller gloves, no headgear. Yeah.
And that's another thing I've never really asked anybody, which is how significantly different is absorbing a punch in your head with the headgear compared to not?
You feel like you basically feel everything.
Even
I had
when
like
it lands on the arms.
bruises on my face and everything, and like it just was tender here for like a couple days after my fight. So yeah, you basically feel everything.
That's crazy. I guess I feel you because when I do some of these interviews, I let if I'm at their gym, I'll put on the body pad and I'll let somebody hit me.
Mhm.
But I let Arnold Barbosa hit me recently.
We brought one.
No, you did not.
I did not.
That would have been so fire. I would have just folded just for the sake of it. Like, Chantel has a knockout power to knock out a freaking 290-pound man. It would have been so fire. We're going to the gym and we're doing a vlog, I swear. Not today.
Yeah, we'll go to Forge.
No, I'm going to East LA. That's easy. That's an easy call. Then you can't go. I was going to say we'll go to the Azteca burrito spot down the street.
Yeah, we can go.
You heard of it?
No.
That's the
but
like,
we can go.
that's like the
She
main.
doesn't have a fight lined up right now. She's good.
I'm going to see if I can line it up so that way Burner's there and see if Burner wants to. Anyways, point is, yeah, I'm going to let you hit me pretty soon. Maybe without the. I was going to say you're a girl. Maybe I'll take your punch. Who knows? What if you hurt me?
Yeah.
What if she breaks my rib?
Try without the thing.
What if she breaks my rib, Sonny?
She won't.
So fire.
It'll heal if she.
It'll heal.
If she does. It'll heal.
Damn, getting hit without headgear, that's also a factor, huh? So you're going in there kind of recklessly, and then
I
did you get caught and it made you reevaluate, or you caught yourself?
No, I caught myself.
You went back into the corner. He was like, "Hey, you're not wearing headgear. Maybe
want to Tone it down a little bit.
So you're not signed to anybody at the moment.
No, not right now.
How much does that work in your guys' favor, you think?
Well, he's the one that matches me up and like
Yeah. So
with the opponents and everything.
Charles, we need to match her up at 360 more, G.
yeah. Charles is cool.
Charles
Tom
is cool as shit.
Mike is cool. Everybody's cool at 360. I know they have a long roster right now too, and it makes sense. So right now, we're doing everything freelance. We're working with different promoters, whoever gives us an opportunity. However, I'm the one holding on to the steering wheel, steering,
Of course.
steering the machine in the right direction. I have, our cut man, Sergio Estrada, which was Sinisa Estrada's cut man,
Mhm.
on board. He's very connected. I got my boy Eddie Arazola, which is my, that's gonna help me co-manage Chantel. And he's he's very wise. He's smart. He has people that are willing to help us with contracts once they're presented to us.
Dope.
Yeah, but I don't mind the hard work right now. I'm gonna build her up. We're gonna, steer the boat in the right direction. And eventually we'll get that promoter that's gonna see our vision, our game plan, our blueprint that we have structured for Chantel, and that believes in it 100%. But yeah, so far all the promoters we worked for, Showtime, which is his last promotional company, they were easy to work with. So is Tom. But we need a powerhouse team, and I feel like just continue to stack up these wins that's going to draw that attention. So
When's your next fight?
Like we're working maybe in the summer, July, June.
Not too far away. So we still have time to mess around with your diet.
Yeah.
For a day or for a meal rather. All right.
couple meals.
Who's your top 5 women's boxing ever?
I really like Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano.
Mhm.
I've recently started to like Gabriela Findora. I used to like Sinisa when she was fighting, and then Alicia Baumgardner too.
And what do you think? Who's your favorite out of all of those guys?
Skill wise, I would say Sinisa.
How shocked were you when she decided that she was hanging it up?
I mean,
I know her older brother. I saw her grow up.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
What-
It was kind of like that's her decision. I mean, I like can see where she's coming from because boxing is just like it's a very timely thing.
What's been your worst weight cut so far?
My weight cut for my second pro fight. It was horrible.
What made it difficult?
Well, because we went through something as a family. My dad, I don't know if he wants to share it, but he was in the hospital. And I was just like not mentally there.
I had 3 major brain surgeries.
How? Why?
I mean, I was having headaches for like about 5 to 6 weeks.
Fluid?
I'm sorry?
Fluid or what?
What do you mean fluid?
You had fluid in your brain?
I had blood.
That's what I meant. Brain bleed.
So I was having headaches for like about 5 to 6 weeks, and they just were from tolerable to intolerable. I would just take like an Aleve and just go through my day. It was just like, man, we're Mexican, bro, so a little headache ain't gonna.
Yeah, you're gonna be fine.
You know what I'm saying? So finally, it just took its toll on September 9th. It was a Monday. It was a sparring day. And I remember getting up a little disorientated. My equilibrium was off. And something was off, bro. Something was off. And I just went through my day. The next day got worse. And then finally on September 11th, I was like, hey, we need to go to the ER. I told her mom, hey, we need to go to the ER. Something's wrong. Like, something's like really wrong. So they ended up doing an MRI. And the doctor was like, basically, your whole left side of your brain is full of blood. So we're gonna have to rush you right over to Kaiser on Sunset.
That's where they do it. My mother-in-law had a brain surgery there.
Yeah, and after the brain surgery, the first one, it was just like the doctors were baffled that as so much blood that I had in my brain that I was awake talking to all of them.
You were cool.
I was like just chatting away.
They thought you were supposed to be comatose or something, or?
Well, bro, as much the way the doctor made it seem, the first doctor before they transferred us, she was making it seem like I was not going to be the same. Like,
Yeah.
It was like, and it was, bro, the whole, like literally my whole left side. And that's where your body functions are at. I don't know if you know that.
No, yes.
So, they're just scratching their head, Mr. Navarro. I mean, I see you talking with your family here like nothing happened. Usually a person after brain surgery is like completely out, doesn't want to be bothered, but you're here just chatting away, Mr. Navarro. Were you hitting your head? Like, I was like, no, there was no trauma. There was no trauma. You know what I mean? I told them I used to box. They go, no, this is fresh blood that's accumulated. So after that, the next morning, they went and did a CT scan. They found more blood. So then they had to go through my main right artery.
All the way up?
All the way up. Basically sealed all the blood vessels on the right side, left side of my brain. I had to be awake for that one. So I felt because the doctor had to guide me. Don't breathe, don't move, don't swallow, because any little movement would have,
at that moment, it could.
Yeah, correct.
Just a little.
Correct. So then that was the second one.
Was it painful?
One. It was just like a heat, like you could feel like heat. You're gonna feel heat, and it was just like they're basically welding in your head, bro. That's how it felt.
But you didn't feel it. You didn't feel it coursing through you.
No, because my body was, But I was.
Oh nah, I would have flipped out.
Yeah, but the doctor was cool, bro. He was cool. He was calm. He kept me calm. He was talking to me, and then he just okay.
Well, I guess ultimately you couldn't move, so you couldn't do shit.
Yeah, couldn't do nothing. But then after that, I went up immediately after, and then they just told me, you're going to have another one. We're going to do the first one all over again. So I basically had the 3 brain surgeries in 2 days. And they're just, bro, they're
where
scratching.
Are they going through? Where are they entering your brain through in the first one?
They removed half of my skull. But my hair's grown back. But they removed half of my skull. They opened it up. They did their thing.
So crazy, dude.
And, yeah, bro, and they're just scratching their head. I remember having different doctors coming in like, yeah, this is him. Like, I remember they were calling me the mystery man because it was just like, they were just like, this is just nuts. That
did they ever establish why?
They said the final one was like, we're gonna just say it was brain trauma because this only happens when you get hit in the head. So, but that wasn't even the case. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you would have admitted that you got cracked.
And I was out of the hospital, bro, in 7 days, which was crazy.
They kept you there for monitoring, but you were basically cool.
Good. I was good, bro.
Honestly, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
As your boy, generally speaking, like I hadn't seen you in years already. Just knowing you went through that makes me feel like fuck.
Yeah, bro, you never know.
So imagine the baby. Crazy.
And she fought 21 days after that. Yeah, she was still getting ready. Listen, I was on my hospital bed like this, still reaching out to people. Hey, you guys going to sponsor? Da, 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 da.
No, you're doing your due. Yeah.
Yeah, still.
How mentally straining was that? I'm telling you right now, me just thinking about my boy going through that is crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
I've known this fool for, I don't know, most of your life.
Something years.
Yeah, damn near.
Yeah, just like seeing him like that, just because he's like to us, like as his daughter, I see him as this strong, independent man, like protector. He's like our protector, and being able to see him like on
so vulnerable like that, it's crazy.
Hospital bed is just very like, and then my poor mom too, like stressed out. And as soon as because they were like kicking us out because like there were so many people there to go and see my dad.
That's right.
They were kicking us out, and we had to like wait in the waiting area, and then just like my mom like trying to hold it together for us, but like she couldn't, and as
Of
soon as
course
like
not.
she saw, she would bawl her eyes out and everything. So just being able like to see my mom like that, to see my dad like that, it was just mentally like it was horrible.
Well, your dad's a strong guy. Obviously,
Yeah.
he's powered through that. But damn, and obviously you won your fight.
Yes. I did.
By knockout,
By
first
knockout in
round,
the
50
first
seconds.
Yeah, you had to get out of there. You had to get back to the hospital. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I was there.
Oh, you were there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was out in 7 days after I
Come on.
Yeah,
Sick. Were you in the corner?
Yes.
I was. My little brother went up to work it. My little brother, the one that was
Yeah.
in
Like,
Olympia,
don't jiggle your fucking head too much.
But I was right there. I was like, I'm not gonna yell. That's the first thing I fucking did, dog. It's my baby up there.
No,
but
Bando.
I had Eddie Arazola, which is my right hand man,
Yeah,
and my brother. So I knew she was gonna be good and good. I still wrapped her hands.
that's fire.
I still wrapped her hands.
As a Latina and a woman in a male-dominated sport, how do you like navigate through boxing, like, and protect your image and things like that? You know what I mean? Because I know some women. You know what I'm talking about. You get it. Like,
Yeah.
how do you go through all that?
Just basically how I was raised. Like my dad.
Like a G.
Yeah, he has like I basically have a good head on my shoulders because of my dad and my mom. So I value my self-respect and I value myself and just basically my skills show for it all. And my dad always told us, even when we were playing soccer, you're a female and you're brown, so you have to work twice as hard. So like for things that we want, but boxing being a very popular in like the Latin community and Hispanic community, it's just like I'm around Hispanics almost every single day. So, and it being a male dominated sport sometimes sucks because like they think they're entitled to
I think it's going
everything.
up though for you guys now.
Yeah,
For the
it
ladies,
is.
it's going up.
Yeah, but sometimes there is where we have to deal with men that are entitled. So it's
You
just,
shrug your
yeah,
shoulders.
just I'll let you deal with that, Dad.
No, that's right.
I'll take care of it.
They're a very particular individual to have to speak to. You know what I'm saying? That's tight. Um, do you? She's the youngest. I don't want to be wrong about the Nike deal.
She's the youngest Latina at 17 to be signed to Nike.
That's fire.
You can Google it.
No, that's easily Googleable. What's the biggest sacrifice you've had to make in boxing? For boxing, rather.
A lot. I have to make so many sacrifices. Like when I was in high school, I had to sacrifice my high school experience for boxing. Like I had to be homeschooled because of all of my traveling and my grades weren't being kept up to par. I was failing my classes because of how much I was traveling. And I missed some of my homecomings. I missed my grad night. But I did go to prom.
That's nice.
Yeah,
I
went.
promised her that.
Yeah,
That's fire.
I promised her she would go to the last semester of high school
yeah.
to enjoy grad night.
Yeah,
prom,
at least have that experience.
Graduation. Yeah.
That's
that
nice.
was my deal and I kept it.
Did you graduate?
Come on, man. You know I did. I went to USC.
My bad.
Come on, dog.
We're just gonna leave you alone.
Man, don't talk to me.
No, yeah. Do you think it was worth it? All the sacrifices?
Yes, because look at where I'm at now.
Facts.
I'm following my dreams and everything. So I do want to go back to school to study business, to have that like knowledge.
Business.
I have a very particular take on that. For you to be an entrepreneur, you don't have to go to business school. And I only say that because they teach you business administration, which is like a worker position. You're just you're a secretary, you're a clerical person, whatever. Respects to everyone that got a business administrative degree. But all the bosses I know do not have a college degree.
Message.
Respectfully.
Yeah.
Open a boxing gym or something.
No,
Don't
that's good.
complicate
That's
shit.
good.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying don't go to school, but I just told my wife recently. She was like, "What college do you want to go to?" I was like, "Don't pump them with that college shit. College is for workers, bosses."
Yeah.
Now, if you're gonna be a lawyer Or no, you're a boxer. What the
Yeah.
fuck? Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I was like, yeah, you're the. I got lost in the sauce. Like, wait, no, you're a boxer. You're not gonna become a doctor or a lawyer. You're boxing fools. You're beating people up. Um, how much pressure do you think there is on the O on having a undefeated streak and winning? Like, how much pressure is there on that? Especially being a rising star. Do you care? Like, I mean, obviously you care a little bit, but you know what I mean.
Well, obviously, I would like to keep my O, and I'm gonna work like I'm gonna work hard to keep that O.
Of course.
So I'm pretty confident in the way that I train, my work ethic. Like whenever my dad tells me to do something, I do it without any complaints or anything. So yeah, I work my butt off to perform the way that I perform. So I'm pretty confident that my O is not going anywhere.
That's fire. I don't think so either, but you know, just for the sake of the interview. What does boxing mean to you?
It's like tradition basically in my family.
Facts.
So, and my dad, we were having this conversation like naturally, like that part of my DNA like was floating in the surface. So, like I feel like my sisters, they would have it in them, but I feel like me more because I gravitated towards it, and it came so naturally to me. Like I felt like so natural in the ring. It didn't feel forced. Like to be completely honest, felt like I was forced to be on that soccer field. Like it just wasn't something for me. Like I wasn't passionate about it. When I was younger, I was, because I saw how passionate my sisters were.
So yeah, you want to be down. I
Yeah, I
feel it.
wanted to be like my sisters. They're my older sisters. And as soon as boxing came into my life, I was like, no, like
This is it.
soccer is not for me. So I gravitated towards boxing more, and I feel like I have for boxing you have to have that competitive.
No, it's a
It's a completely different thing than soccer is.
and this is so funny that you're saying this because again, like I mentioned, my 6-year-old, he loves boxing, but his little friends like playing soccer at school. And my wife was like, let's sign him up for soccer. And I was like, nah, because he's super competitive and I don't want him to, this is going to sound crazy, but I don't want him to have to suffer the agony of defeat because his team is trash. Is that crazy?
Yeah. Oh, we've been on a few of those teams.
But you feel me though, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't want him to, I want him to stay undefeated too, mentally. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he's going to suffer a defeat, it's going to be in training and it's going to be mentally. It's not going to be, I'm not into team sports like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, like, this is all on you. If you succeed, it's because of your hard work and your skills and your determination.
Yeah. Like for boxing, you can't just hand the gloves to somebody when you're having a bad day.
Nah. How many bad days do you think you've had in the ring?
A lot, but that's what makes me the fighter that I am. Because it's just like basically a wake-up call. Because if you're winning everything, you don't have like, oh, you need to do this and this and this.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad always tells me, be your biggest critic. And I think that I am. I'm very hard on myself because I know my potential. I know. And I think my dad is pretty hard on me too.
Your
But
dad?
I'm not her dad, though, when I'm like that. I'm her coach. I have to separate the two.
No, absolutely.
I separate the two.
No, because you're going to be probably more sympathetic to certain things
She's
as a
easy.
dad.
Oh, but you're my dad, too. But no, I'm your coach. I'm your coach. I'm like this with all the kids I train. You know?
And it is what it is.
And it is. But I think she sees it more like, well, you're my dad. Have some kind of sympathy. No,
Nah.
you're my fighter.
He will be cheating you.
Yeah. See, I have to learn how to separate the two. But I'm also not naive, Eyekon, because I know I'm going to need help eventually.
Facts.
When she starts for fighting 8-rounders and 10-rounders, I'm going to have to bring in a Kay Karoma, which is a good friend of mine. Shout outs to Kay.
Shots K.
You know, I'm going to have to bring a coach for me to soak up game that's taking these girls to the
promised
pinnacle.
land. Yeah.
Exactly. So I could soak up game. I could see how to train her for an 8-rounder and a 10-rounder where she's not overtrained and she peaks and she stays there. When it's time to perform, she's performing at the highest level. So I'm not naive like, oh, I'm going to take her all the way. No, I'm going to need help, but I'm not going to steer off. I'm going to stay right there. I'm going to soak up game.
No, absolutely.
And who better to learn from somebody like Kay Caroma, Abel Sanchez,
Shout out to Abel,
Ben
man.
Lira,
Hmm.
coaches like that.
Yeah, legendary
You
men
know, yeah.
and women. Your dad's always been in a leadership position, as far as I know, and he's always been the coach, one way or another. So that's just how I see him and know him. So not a big deal to me, right? um, how do you power through those tough days, though? Like those tough moments, those tough days. Like, how do you mentally push through, and how do you accept the lesson that it was? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, well, just because like how bad I want this, like how bad I want this to like succeed, my career to succeed, and because of my family behind me, like my sisters have had bad days, but they've powered through it.
mm-hmm,
My sister Pearl, she went to college like far away from home. She most likely have had hard days, but she had to power through it on her own. So basically just like looking towards my family for support is, yeah,
mm-hmm.
it's basically how I power through it.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years from now?
A world champion, retired.
Retired
Undisputed.
at 30?
Heck
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
It could happen, huh?
It could happen. How many ex-boxers do you know that are living comfortably well and they're well off? Name them.
The only ex-boxer that well, maybe not the only, but it's a loaded answer that I'm going to give you because they're still dibbling, dabbling. The Garcias, but they're still in boxing, obviously. Mikey Garcia might be the best example of one of the people that I've seen make very smart decisions. And have you seen his car collection? You know what I'm saying? That was a wild guy. You know what I'm saying? Leo Santa Cruz, I know personally. He's all right, but he's recently retired. It's not like he's been retired for 20 years. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I'm referring to, like Oscar De La Hoya.
That's different.
You know what I'm saying?
But I've seen people at dang, I don't want to say any names at that point, but I've seen like we're bringing out some old school boxers to the gym and it's going to be a little function. They're pulling up like in 1999 Kia Fortes and shit, you know what I mean? Like respectfully. And if no one's going to know who drives that shit. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
so to narrow that answer, right? It's very few.
No, yeah, you got to make very, very smart decisions.
But again, that comes down to now. The ones that benefit the most are promoters and managers.
Facts.
In this case, I have advisors like Tom Loeffler, even though we're not signed to him.
Great
but at
man.
the end of the day, he's my friend. He is my friend. I can call him anytime, ask him for advice. He's already given me a lot of insights. A lot of fighters think they got to fight on pay-per-view to make TV money. And that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? A lot of fighters sign off their merch when they sign to that manager and they sign up to that promotional company.
Not here, buddy.
Not here. No. It's not going to work like that.
Thank God you're privy to how business works on multiple facets of industry. You know what I'm saying?
Because of people like Tom that are there to tell me, hey, Nacho, this, that, and the other. Do it like this, do it like that, do it like this.
Shout out to Tom, man.
Yeah, good guy. That's my friend. That's my brother, my older brother.
Legendary fool.
He pulled me and my brother out of South Central and gave us a shot.
What year was this? Because I interviewed Tom.
1996.
The HBO days. Before?
Prime Ticket. I don't know how old you are, but Prime Ticket. I remember that was my pro debut at the Olympic Auditorium. How many people can say, oh, I debuted at the Olympic Auditorium?
Not very many.
I think, to be honest with you, I think that was the last show they ever did there.
That's fire.
So I got to, and then I remember being there. It's like, don't want to make this about me, but in a nutshell.
Yeah.
I remember being there just thinking of all the legends that fought under that roof. Chavez.
Fire.
It's just like, come on, man. But yeah, so, that's good that people like Jake Paul, MVP Promotions, that are putting the bag up for him. and saying, hey, you deserve, let me even out the playing field. Now everybody gets broken off. The managers, the fighters, you know.
No, yeah, it's fire. When you're in there, what are you fighting for? Because there's definitely a difference between fighting and fighting someone and fighting for something. You know what I'm saying? What are you fighting for, young lady?
Basically, just for my name.
That's right.
Yeah, for like my personal name, Chantel Navarro. That's what I'm fighting for. Just to keep that, like my nickname and everything. People to know who I am.
Do you think like every fighter is like searching for something like beyond victory, like a deeper? Hope I'm not going too fucking philosophical on you,
Do
G.
you think?
Maybe because like people like root off of anger in this. So maybe like something to prove to themselves or something. Well, for me, I fight because of my family, for my family.
That's right.
The legacy.
The legacy, yeah. So that's what I fight for. I fight for my grandpas. Yeah.
Back to you being undefeated. You have a lot of social media clout, a lot of good things in your favor, like a lot of positive things like are in your favor. Like the pressure of that, how much pressure do you feel going into training and competition? And do you think it's like a strength or a liability?
I don't feel any pressure because I know
Fire.
the people behind me are gonna support me no matter what. So I don't really feel any pressure. But like for myself, to prove something to myself, like I want to do as best as I can. I want to be like not the best boxer ever, but the best boxer that I could be. So
I respect that. Could be the
yeah.
best ever. We're gonna see very
Yeah, like
very soon here.
push myself to the best that I could be, like the best boxer that I'm like possible to be. So
I feel it. Who would you like to fight if you could line up your next? How many fights away is she from like a belt?
That's that's a question that literally just floats up in the air because we never know. Everybody's path is different,
For sure.
and that's a conversation we've been having a lot lately, right? You got girls
Yeah,
that
you
are,
could rush a fighter and
yeah. I mean, so our situation is where I gotta hustle, and talk to promoters, and tell them negotiate. Okay, what do you guys need in return? Okay, we need you to sell these many tickets. Done. Nothing. Okay. And the sponsors, we have a lot of people that support, brother, people that just know us off of social media. They don't even know us in person, and they see what we're doing, and they follow her journey since 2016,
facts.
and they make it worthwhile for her to go and compete and fight. So then you got the girls that just, and much blessings to them, bro, and well deserved. They have one fight and a big promotional company signs them, and now they have that powerhouse behind them, steering their machine. And it's hard for us to say, oh well, three more fights and a world title. We still got a lot of ground to cover. Still got a lot of ground to cover. Maybe I would say the end of 2025 she'll be fighting for a world title, or maybe early 2026.
That's fire.
Depending, but see, we never know throughout
Of
this
course.
who will come along that'll be very influential to her career and making things happen, right? So we never know, but we just keep a positive mindset, and we're just going to accept our journey, and we're going to enjoy it.
If there's anyone you would like to fight next, who would it be?
well, that girl Melanie Timko, because she's undefeated, and that would look good on my record to beat somebody like that. I fought her in the amateurs, and for the last qualifiers for the Olympic trials, and I beat her. So.
Who else after besides her?
Just girls that are undefeated to build up my record.
So straight up, you only want to fight people that are undefeated.
Undefeated or have like a loss or a draw.
You don't want to fight
Like
a 35-year-old woman with 10 losses.
Yeah, like someone with a good record. Yeah.
That was nasty, or what?
Oh, you're funny, fool.
You know what the fuck I'm
I know, fool. I know.
Sorry. Just how I operate.
I
up here.
told her already. I gave her a heads up. Hey, this dude's like this. He's cool as fuck.
We're just gonna
Enjoy
listen.
the
I've interviewed some of the best of the best. I've interviewed some up and comers, and I mean, I watch boxing in person at home on my couch, and I just see a lot of unique things, and I think it's very dope that you're down to fight real competition.
Hmm.
That's fire.
Yeah, because in the amateurs, I was fighting top of competition
So why not continue that?
in pro. Yeah.
her only losses in the amateurs were to the top girls.
Mhm.
Girls that were always traveling internationally.
Yeah, if someone beat you, they went on to be the champion. They didn't beat you and then lose the next fight type vibes. I totally feel it, and I respect it. Is there anything else you want me to ask you?
No.
What do you plan on eating today?
I don't know.
Everything. Anything and everything.
That's crazy. Where exactly is the gym?
It's in Boyle Heights off of Mission and Aliso, like literally right next to
Oh, you're right there next to like where we would film, like in the arts district.
Yes.
So you're smelling tomato sauce all day.
And we go get remember when the eggs were up high in price?
Yes.
No, we would go to the back right there, dog. Get them for $15 for 20. So, no, we're good. That's where we get our eggs from.
Oh, that's
Protein.
fire. That's dope. Well, it's been real. I'm sure people saw or heard a couple of things they never knew about your father. You don't want to do a full-length interview on you. On the
No. This dude on boxing.
He was like, they don't need to know
I'm gonna
that.
feel like Al Bundy.
Nah, it's fire. It's
I
tight.
feel like Al Bundy talking about the music.
Oh, that's so amazing. Yeah, I see a lot of good things in your future, and hopefully, I have corral seats for all of them. Nah,
No, you'll be there, brother.
nah. Chantel Navarro, Ignacio Navarro are in the building. Make sure you follow both of them. Their Instagrams appeared at the beginning of this episode. Her next fight tickets are in the link of this description. Make sure you check it out. Make sure you follow them. Make sure you support, like, share, and subscribe. Shout out to all you guys that are watching. This has been the Casual Experts Podcast. Actually, is there anything you want to leave the people with before we go?
Just follow your dreams.
And follow her. Thank you guys so much. We highly appreciate you. We're out of here. Aparatos.
That's crazy.